Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? Let's get back to Iraq. There are some interesting developments involving the exchange rate. Before we get started, do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I certainly do appreciate it. If you're thinking about buying gold and silver, go to our friends over there at Money Metals Exchange. The link is down below in the description. If you're a first-time buyer and you spend more than $100, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and you will get an additional half ounce of silver with your order. In addition to that, it's a small way to help out the channel. Also, I want to remind everybody there is alternate platforms that I'm on. We have Pimpy's News Network, which is usually a place where we put videos that I cannot play on YouTube because its content is sensitive to YouTube. Also, come join us on Facebook. We do have a group called Pimpy's Investment Chat. I encourage you to come join us because over here we do talk about gold, silver, cryptocurrencies, as well as foreign currencies and other investments as well. You can also find me over here on Twitter, as well as MeWe and YouTube. The link for all these social media platforms will be down below in the description. If for whatever reason I get knocked off of YouTube, you can find me over there at those other locations. Well, I have to be honest, I was impressed when Al-Kadhimi was Prime Minister, but I'm super impressed so far by the speed in which Al-Sandini is moving. It's pretty impressive, but I will also admit that I judged him wrong so far. I was thinking guilt by association, since he is a clone of Maliki, that he might do Maliki's bidding. But it doesn't seem like that's happening so far, so kudos to Al-Sandini. And this is an issue right here that's been going on for quite some time, and he is addressing it. The State Administration Alliance decides to activate Article 140 of the Iraq Constitution. For those of you who don't know what Article 140 is, it seems like ever and a day now, Iraq has been fighting with Kurdistan over the territory of Kirkuk. And things got worse once they found a ton of oil in Kirkuk. So that has been an issue that has been ongoing. Every time we heard that Kurdistan was coming over to Erbil to talk to the Iraq government about Article 140, nothing ever seemed to get accomplished. So Al-Sandini has now activated the Article 140, which has been dormant since 2014. What that means now is they have to form a committee, and they have within 10 days to do so. So within 10 days, they should have a committee together to review how to come up with an agreement with Kurdistan on how to handle Kirkuk. So the Central Bank of Euphrates said no denomination will be withdrawn from the Iraqi currency, and the 20,000 is in the process of being designed. So I like the fact that it's definitely a lower denomination and not going higher. You can see right here that they have the 250 dinar, the 500, the 1,000, the 5,000, the 10,000, the 25,000, and the 50,000. So now they want to create a 20,000 dinars. What I'm anticipating is once it is designed and has been in use for a little bit, we're going to see the 25,000 and the 50,000 dinars removed. Not right away, but removed. There was an article that had been about a year by now that came out and said that Iraq was going to remove the 25,000 and 50,000 dinars, and they would be for bank use only, not to the public. So this could be them taking that step in that direction. We'll find out soon. But I do like the fact that they are making let's just call it a midway denomination, all right, instead of making a much bigger one. And as I stated, hopefully they'll remove the 25 and 50,000 dinars, and they'll definitely be heading in the right direction. That'll definitely bring a lot of positive vibes to those individuals who've been waiting for the dinar to gain in value. So right here, you can see a new statement from the Minister of Finance regarding next year's budget. But I do want to point something out. It says right here, the ministry in a statement to the news, it said the minister, Sammy, participated today, Tuesday, in the meetings of Article 4 of the agreement establishing the International Monetary Fund held in the Jordanian capital, Amman, with the participation of the government of the Central Bank of Iraq and representatives of the Ministry of Finance and the Federal Audit Bureau. It also included the Central Statistic Organization through visual communication channels. At the outset of the meeting, the head of the fund's mission and members of his team welcomed the Minister of Finance, offering her congratulations on assuming her duties, wishing her success in her new mission, the extent of joint cooperation with the IMF, and benefiting from modern technical assistance needed by the financial sector in Iraq. So here we go. We have the IMF that's involved, and they've been involved with Iraq now for quite some time. You know, and I've said this a zillion times, you really don't want the IMF or the World Bank involved with anything you do as a country, but this is part of an agreement that was put together a long time ago. And you can see right here, the purpose of the meeting was to do a presentation on the mechanisms for implementing the new government curriculum, which was approved by the House of Representatives, stressing that the axis of the curriculum include presenting the draft general budget for the year 2023 in accordance with the directives of the Prime Minister. So you have a lot of different representatives from different areas, including the IMF, who are there to review the draft for 2023 is what it is. Now here's the one that everybody's talking about and people are misunderstanding in some cases. It says the rise in dollar exchange. That doesn't mean you're going to get more money for your dinar. Okay, that's the rumor that I hear going around. I said, no, it's being read wrong. It says the rise in dollar exchange rates in Baghdad due to U.S. Treasury sanctions. So when it says the rise in dollar exchange, they're talking about the rise of the purchasing power of the U.S. dollar against the dinar. That is the wrong direction. It was said to the news the reason behind the high exchange rate of the dollar in the local markets is to discover cases of corruption, in addition to the sanctions imposed by the U.S. Treasury Department and some private Iraqi banks and other banks. The reasons for the increase are purely economic and have nothing to do with the political side, as well as supply and demand in the market. Al-Saadi pointed out that banks were excluded from the currency auction due to the suspicions of corruption, and some of them may be added to the list because they are under investigation. I'm sure that probably has something to do with the so-called theft of the century. So where we saw this increase was on the stock exchange. The Baghdad Stock Exchange closed this evening at an exchange rate of 149,500 Iraqi dinars for every $100. In other words, 1,490 dinars for every $1, which is going in the wrong direction. We want that 149,000 number to decrease. The more it decreases, the more you gain in value of your Iraqi dinars. So if you're hearing people out there that the dinar is gaining value, that is incorrect. It's actually the dollar is gaining value against the Iraqi dinar. So it looks like Al-Sadini is keeping Iraq on track. Al-Kadhimi started it. Al-Sadini is continuing it. I'm sure he has his own areas in which he wants to implement some of his own policies. But so far, it looks like they're going to continue on the path of the white papers. In one of the meetings, Al-Sadini had stressed the importance of money being invested in both public and private sectors to create new jobs, and is eager to start finally, after all these years, the Iraqi infrastructure projects. Good Lord, I wish they'd get those started because you would put a ton of Iraqis to work. So I'll have to admit it, so far so good with Al-Sadini. Everything looks okay. We'll continue to keep an eye on what's developing over there and keep you informed. Anyways, that's it for now, and I will catch you later. I'm out.